Shanti. Om Shanti. Good morning. Hope my voice is coming through.
Yeah, yes, Rishabh, it's coming.
We are reading the Murli of January 22nd, spoken in 1988. So, where Baba was sharing the first step of courage is to surrender. It is not the last one, it is the first step of courage is to surrender. And it's a sweet surrender. And this surrender, this courage helps us to uplift and make us closer, bring us closer to Baba. So Baba was talking about so becoming equal to Baba means becoming merged in love, or to become merged in love means to become equal to Baba. So Baba is living it every step, every thought, have determination to give the return of love, powerful sustenance, and limitless imperishable treasures that we received from Baba. The return is to turn. Turn means to transform, transform and become equal to Baba. So Baba was, and what does it mean to become equal to Baba? Baba has defined the awareness or speciality of his divine activities, because Alaukik Baba's life is the life of becoming embodiment of knowledge, Gyan Swarup. So all so you can see Baba was going deeper into what does it mean to become a Gyan Swarup. So Baba is telling how Baba's love will help us to detach from the world. So one other example that helps me is to have the three world picture as we go beyond the awareness of the physical, or as we go beyond the influence on our stage of this external world, physical world. So we become naturally stable in our soul conscious state, naturally emerging our Adi and Anadi qualities of the soul. So which naturally makes us become embodiment of the knowledge. So we become Gyan Swarup, and that is what Brahma Baba stage is. He is in Gyan Swarup, and he is becoming the Vishnu. The first vision that Brahma Baba had is of Vishnu, and when Baba was practicing his Laksha and Lakshan to be aligned, so Baba was sharing, practicing his Sneha Swarup, Vishnu form, Gyan Swarup, Sneha Swarup, Shakti Swarup, the powerful form of Shankar, and that will takes us beyond into Baba's heart, Baba's love, Baba's light, into the Baba's loving light. We are getting merged, and Baba is describing that as you become merged in Baba's love, you become detached from the world and you become Gyan Swarup. Baba is giving lot of zeal and enthusiasm into every souls through his attitude. Attitude is not a thought. Attitude is something that creates an atmosphere that leads, that creates a very uh, uplifting environment of zeal and enthusiasm. Even in thoughts, at every moment, he had the zeal and enthusiasm to make everyone special. And how is Baba making special? Through the vritti. Vritti creates Vayumandal atmosphere, and that atmosphere helps to grow. Through his words, he gave courage. He brought hope to those who felt hopeless. He made weak souls fly with the flying stage. He made everyone worthy of service. So his every word was valuable, sweet, and yukti yukt. So Baba was experiencing, sharing, like Baba used to be like a child with the children, youth with young people, and elderly person with elderly people. So everyone were able to relate to Baba to become equal in all these things, like the positive thoughts, pure and positive thoughts, to having equal love for everyone in spite of knowing where each one's stage is, who is going to become. So Baba says, follow Father in this way. This is called love. This is called giving return to Baba's love. And Baba was also checking how much return did we give to Baba by becoming equal to Baba. So Baba was Brahma Baba. And Shiva Baba gave a signal. Brahma Baba was putting it into action. So instantly. So Baba is also inspiring us to surrender everything. He surrendered the intellect that had the consciousness of I, and the intellect of the I, and the intellect of the ego. This is how he became constantly pure, cool, and bestower of happiness with his body, mind, and intellect by surrendering the intellect of the consciousness of I, and intellect is surrendered. The Baba was, no matter what situation came up with his Laukic family or even from souls not known to him in the world, neither in his thoughts nor in his dreams did he have any upheaval of doubt, even in the subtle form, not even the slightest thought. So one of the specialities of Brahma Baba was unshakable faith and following Srimad, making Srimad one support. So Baba was, he never questioned, he totally surrendered, and especially he had so much deep faith in Baba. Baba was also sharing one of the incidents when there was not, during the beggary part, there was not even food. So he had not having any waste thoughts during that time. So Baba is telling in the same way you should also have the unwavering faith in Baba. So Baba says, to those who constantly follow the Father at every step, to those who give the return of love at every step, to those who always have faith in the intellect, and as carefree emperors always remain free from worry. To those who become equal to the Father in their thoughts, words, deeds, and relations, to those who constantly have pure and positive thoughts, to those who always see the speciality of each one, to those who constantly make every soul move forward, to the children who are equal to the Father in this way, heart-filled love and remembrance from the loving Father. So Bapdada was also meeting the groups. So Bapdada is telling, do you consider yourselves to be the highest on high Brahmin souls who belong to the highest on high Father? Brahmins are remembered as the highest of all. The sign of the highest is always shown as a top knot of the Brahmins. People of the world have shown the top knot as the symbol of those worldly Brahmins. The signs of the highest is always shown as a top knot of Brahmins. People of the world have shown the top knot as the symbols of those worldly Brahmins. So you are not those who have a top knot, but those who remain in the stage of top knot. They have shown the physical symbol, but it is in fact a matter of staying in the highest stage. Brahmins are said to be the most elevated. The most elevated means the most elevated of human beings, Purushottam, more elevated than ordinary human souls. You are such elevated beings, are you not? The soul is said to be Purush. Those who are the most elevated souls means to become the most elevated human beings of all human beings. Deities are also called the most elevated because they are deity souls. You are Brahmins, even higher than deity souls. Always have this intoxication. For the other intoxication, it would be said, reduce it. But for spiritual intoxication, Baba says, continue to increase it because this intoxication does not cause damage. All other forms of intoxication causes damage. This will this will make you climb high, and the other would make you fall. If spiritual intoxication comes down, you remember the old world. If the intoxication raises, there will be the awareness of the new world. This Brahmin world is also a new world. This world is even more elevated than the golden age. So, constantly continue to move forward with this awareness. Do you always experience yourself to be the elevated creation of the Father, the world creator? Brahmin life means the elevated creation of the world creator. Do you have the intoxication that each one of you is the direct creation of the Father? People of the world unknowingly say that they have been created by God. Previously, all of you also used to say this unknowingly, but you now know that you are the Kumars and Kumaris who belong to the clan of Shiva. So you now say, on the basis of knowledge and understanding, that God has created you and that you are the most born creation. The Father has created the creation directly through Brahma. So, you are the creation of Bap Dada or the mother and father. You can now say from experience that you are the direct creation of God. So, God's creation would be so elevated. As the creator, so would be his creation, would it not? Do you always have this intoxication and happiness? You do not consider yourself to be ordinary, do you? When this secret enters your intellect, you can constantly and automatically have this spiritual intoxication and happiness on your face and in your activities. Seeing your face, others experience you truly to be the creation of the elevated creator. For instance, one would be able to tell from the behavior of a prince, the daughter of the king, that she is from a royal family. From the behavior of the princess, the daughter of the king, that she is from a royal family. You can tell when someone is from a wealthy family or an ordinary family. In the same way, from your behavior and your face, people should experience you to be the elevated creation, children of the highest Father. To the Kumaris, Baba is talking to a Kumaris. Why is there the praise that the Kumaris are more elevated than 100 Brahmins? Because to the extent that you yourself are elevated, accordingly you will be able to make others elevated. So, do you have the happiness that you are elevated souls? So, Kumaris, become servers and continue to move forward in service. Because this confluence age is a small age, and each one of you can achieve whatever you want as much as you want. So you are those who have an elevated aim and elevated qualification. Lakshya and Lakshan, are you not? When you have an elevated aim and elevated qualification, the attainment you experience will also always be elevated. Lakshya Lakshan is elevated. So your attainment, the experience will also be elevated. So do you constantly experience the fruit of happiness and power in this godly life? People in the world spend money for their happiness, but in spite of that, they don't attain it. Even if they do have some happiness, it is temporary. For together with that happiness, there is also sorrow. However, the life of all of you have become one of constant happiness. People of the world are desperate for happiness, whereas you are receiving happiness as your instant visible fruit. Happiness is the specialty of your life. If there is no happiness, there is no life. So, You are constantly making progress and moving forward, are you not? Bab Dada is happy that the Kumaris have been saved at the right time. Otherwise, you would have climbed the wrong ladder and then would have had to climb down. To go up and come down takes effort. Look, even householders are still called Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. They are not called Brahma other Kumars. They still become Kumars and Kumaris. So they come down the ladder. Whereas you don't have to come down. You are very fortunate. You have found the Father at the right time. Only Kumaris are worshipped. When a Kumari becomes a householder, she has to become a lamp and have to bow down in front of everyone. So you have been saved, have you not? Therefore, always consider yourself to be very fortunate and continue to move forward. Acha, Baba is meeting the mothers. All of you are powerful mothers, are you not? You are not weak, are you? What does Bab Dada want from the mothers? For each one of you mothers to become a world mother and benefit the world. However, mothers work very cleverly. When any Laukik work has to be done, they make someone or other an instrument to do that, and they themselves go out. However, when it is godly task, they say, I have children, so who is going to look after them? Bab Dada says to the Pandavas, you have to look after them because you are the creators. So the Pandavas should free the Shaktis according to the drama. At the present time, it is the mothers who have been given a chance. Therefore, the mothers have to be kept in the front. You now have to do a lot of service. The whole world has to be transformed. So, how will you complete the service? A fast speed is needed, is it not? So, Pandavas free the Shaktis so that centers can open and sound can be spread. Acha. And now Baba is giving the blessing. May you uplift everyone and create the most elevated picture, the same as Father Brahma has done. May you uplift everyone and create the most elevated picture, the same as Father Brahma has done. All the children have created their pictures of fortune through elevated awareness and elevated action. Now, the final touch is needed for perfection and for becoming the most elevated of all, like Father Brahma. For this, become one who uplifts everyone. That is, always remain free from selfish motives. In every situation and in every task, in every cooperative gathering, the more selfishness there is, the more you will be able to uplift others. The more there is selflessness, there is, the more you will be able to uplift others. You will always experience yourself to be full. You will always remain stable as an embodiment of attainments. You will not accept anything for yourself. Selflessness uplifts everyone. And the slogan, only by being a complete renunciate will you develop the virtue of having an easy nature and being tolerant. Easy nature and being tolerant. So another beautiful Murli Baba is inspiring. Let's meditate to make yourself very comfortable in your subtle body of light. This is the body created by Baba Dada, both with the light of Shiv Baba and love of Brahma Baba. I, the soul, become embodiment of knowledge. In this pure body of light, my true and natural nature is restored. That pure peace stabilizing my heart and intellect. That pure sense of belonging to Baba, the ocean of love, making my heart like an ocean, open heart, clean heart, pure heart, full of love, full of light. As as I deepen my experience of being light, being love, I build this pure strength, restoring my strength as a divine soul. Totally beyond the awareness of the world, uninfluenced by the things of the world, totally beyond, totally absorbed in Baba's love, light, no sense of self, no sense of limited self, only Baba's love and light radiating through my presence. I'm very transparent. sphere, uplifting every soul, bringing zeal and enthusiasm in every soul to restore their divinity, to deepen their connection with Baba, to stabilize their presence in this loving light as beings of light, beings of love, returning home. Om Shakti Shakti. How do you feel? How close are you to our destination? And what practice from today's Murli brings you closer to your Lakshya and the destination? Yes, Vijay Bhai.
Yeah, Om Shanti. So,
Mm.
yeah, I liked this point that the phase and the action should give the evidence of what you are practicing, right? Like Papa said, the royal family, right? Their dignity is shown when they are behaving or interacting with others, right? So their words and the way they interact right there. So that um, describes their royalty, right? So that comes from purity. And another thing that I like is the spiritual intoxication, right? That Baba said that should not decrease, so that must always increase. Right? So I think the spiritual intoxication is one thing that we each one of us need to work upon the self to keep it always up, right? Otherwise we don't enjoy. I sometimes personally feel that when there is when we are taking care of the office work, or when we are paying attention there more, and then just doing the listening to Murli and then going the prasad in the normal way, then the experience is also like that. So when you are able to give more time, then you are able to increase that spiritual intoxication. Therefore, your experience will also increase. So, uh, so it is very important that we find a way to intoxicate the self, right? We otherwise, it is just the regular practice, but that experience is sometimes goes. I my personal experience sometimes will have difficulty bringing up that intoxication. So that's when we listen to classes, and sometimes we don't have enough time also to do that. So and then when we do that, then yes, we start feeling there's a feeling that okay, getting back to track.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. The one of the thing that helps me to when I find I'm losing myself or my stage is because after a point it becomes too intellectual, repeating the points or um, so especially when we think about creating an awareness, Awareness is not a thought. Awareness is not even a feeling. Awareness is a space in which we dwell. So that awareness is so when we are visualizing or when we are dreaming, uh, we are totally unaware of the time, the space where we are physically, but we are so absorbed in the dream, which is creating our awareness and which is creating our experiences and all of the stuff. But the awareness is being in the dream and totally unaware of anything else. So, so, so having that picture as a backdrop, any picture as a backdrop in our mind, and doing whatever is needed. Say one thing Bob always says, like, oh, you're working from the soul world, working from home. But you're working from home. You're working from home, the soul world. So when you're at home, you are in your relaxed clothes. You are in maybe in your pajamas or you are sitting on the couch and next to you there is a hot food. This is not the atmosphere when you are in office. When you are at office, you are at your desk, you are very much in a different atmosphere. So similarly, when we create that backdrop or ambience, that ambience of the soul world, the ambience that creates that sense of comfort, relaxed state of our mind, being home with Baba in the soul world, very stable, very pure, very steady, and things keep coming and going. But we are working from home. Uh, that backdrop always helps. Sometimes that helps for me. Mhm. Thank you. Anything else, Vijay Bhai, that helps you to?
Yeah, so thank you for that. Yes. Yeah, I really feel that, sometimes, that intoxication is high and we
Mm,
experience yoga and all good. Sometimes, it is not that up to that
mm,
mark expected. So it's just
mm,
going in that ordinary way. So keeping up
mm,
always extraordinary, very high, this is a challenge because mind also needs new food,
mm,
right? That is where I suppose these club also help, different
mm,
churning, different way, people are applying the knowledge. And the company of Brahmins and sender, all that will help, right? Otherwise, one is doing Prashat alone means over a period of time you'll get bored, right? I think
mm,
that could be one reason why in the journey most of the Brahmins give up. I mean, some Brahmins at least, right? You
mm,
will see. So it's because they are not able to maintain that spiritual intoxication in that life, in that
mm.
life journey.
Yeah, and especially it is important to keep that newness. If there is no freshness, then things get stale.
Yeah, that trip to Madhuban will also help sometimes, right?
Yes, Madhuban trip will help. And we can always make Madhuban trip with our mind. We can always go into Baba's room, feel the atmosphere in that Baba's room, Baba's hut, Chardham, History Hall, and Tower of Peace. And we can always travel across time. We can go there, even if it is afternoon, we can go there, how it feels to be at Amrit Vela at Tower of Peace. You don't need a shawl, but you don't catch any cold, but
Mhm.
you can still feel the fresh atmosphere of being in a Tower of Peace at Amrutvela. And we can even travel across time. What it would have been in 1968 December, what was Baba's atmosphere like in Baba's room at Amrit Vela? And then just try to tune into that feel in that space. Yeah, that freshness, that fresh wave really helps. Mm.
Yeah, thank
Anyway,
you, Ramesh.
thank you. Anyone else would like to share? How are you becoming equal to Baba? What new experiences that you're having that are being equal to Baba? Feel free to unmute yourself. What are the yuktis that you use to bring that freshness? Yes, Rakiben.
Practice from last few days that I'm intensely doing is staying in the space of awareness. And one quality that um, putting in awareness is purity.
Hmm.
Now, uh, it's very easy. Let's take an example that I'm considerate for somebody. Okay, but then if I have this conversation that inta kuch nahi hone wala, nothing is going to be happening with these guys. However you try, they're not going to be improving. Then I'm bringing this space of impurity in that very being of beautiful space of standing in consideration and being that space for self and others to grow. Now, this is one checking that came a couple of days back for me that when I stand in the space of purity and there is something that I'm bringing forward for self and others, I need to check myself. Is that way of being of mine is standing in complete purity or say purity? Or is there any kind of impure thoughts that's clouding this world of purity? Um, I just took one bit of it, um, one quality of Baba at one given point of time to practice. Um, and that's working quite well for me.
Hmm. Yeah, that's beautiful. So I was watching one class and the brother was sharing about how habits are created. Habits are created by the three things. One is repetition, and other one is uh, trauma that happens. That it could be a sudden thing that can happen, like people, the veterans who go for the war and uh, they come out with the PTSD, the post traumatic stress disorder, which is mainly because they are exposed to intense emotions. They have seen in the war zone people being killed, extreme conditions of humanity. So it is not many events, it is one or two events which is very traumatic. And other one is the realization. Something like Valmiki had a realization that, oh, so whatever he's doing, he alone have to pay, even if he's doing all of that for his family or his father or mother, or but at the end of the day, whatever he's doing, he has to pay for all the karmic accounts. When he realized that, he became a saint. So even the realization does not take time. PTSD does not take time. To the trauma does not take time. But repetition, conditioning. So most of the time we see sanskaras as mostly conditioning of repetition. But there is other two parts of transformation, which could be a deep, intense experience and deep realization that totally locks the intellects. So now we are in that phase where things will start shaking very fast. So uh, we don't want to get PTSD, but we want to use the same process to pull ourselves out of this world of fast change. Yeah. So any thoughts, any questions, comments? Vinod Bhai,
And Shanti Gala.
I'm Shanti.
Well, interestingly, I have some sense of awareness prevailing these days when I'm in off working hours. Stay silent. You know, at office it is non-stop work, no 1 minute stop. At times, most of the time, when
Hmm.
I come home, I find total calmness and silence. So all my senses come into action. Even if I'm talking, I can do multifunction, browse on WhatsApp or see some news. But then I felt that that was not I'm supposed to do because I'm supposed to calm down myself. So I realized that, and yesterday something I did was to go on to a higher thought of I was supposed to submit a paper, research paper online, which had been pending. So I went on to do that, and I like listening to music. So instead of listening to music, I started learning the Carnatic part verse of it with the Pallavi, and that I could pick that up as well faster. So I realized my mind is fertile. How I have to utilize in times to come is totally dependent on me. So I could get that there, and I I realized that somehow I have been able to separate out the waste out of it now, and I really like what I do, and I'm proud of it. So probably it is important for us to feel that sense of doing and get out of the waste. I think that's when we become more purer and more closer to Baba. And what you said really inspires that we come from that home, though we might come to this home from office, but if we don't go and have a desire to reach that home, then the solace is very, very far. So that inspires me. While though this might not be a great question, brother, but I have one query here. Baba says the soul is a purus, while I feel it to be a compliment, but I do not know how sisters feel. Is it then why Baba says that? You know, of course, at times when we discuss with people, I mean, at least with our own self, during my own churning, I feel what would be the gender of the soul, and Baba sometimes, well, Baba has an answer for it. I do not know what is the thought process in the community about this particular thing, about soul being a Purush. Any answers that you have gotten, and yeah, you must share your
Hmm.
experience.
So I have my own version, but it may not be what everyone would might align. But one thing is Baba would be using the words like, "Oh, every soul is a Sita, every soul is a Parvati," right? So the visual associations that we have given to Sita and Parvati is somebody in a female body. But Baba is attributing that to the soul, right? And soul is beyond gender. Similarly, in Baba, s- Baba is somebody who is beyond language. If you actually see the language, right? What is language? Bunch of words. What are words? Words are bunch of sounds. What is sounds? Sounds means nothing. It's just some random vibrations of sound waves. But what meaning do we give to that word or that sound is very much built over a period of time. And it is very much to do with our cultural context, if you actually see, right? And it is It is not a bad thing, but it helps us to communicate. It helps us to communicate things about intangible things like feelings and emotions and stuff like that. Apple, you can say, here is the apple. This is what I mean when use the word or sound apple. But when I use the word like love, what does it mean? So there is the sound is attributed to a feeling. So all of this body consciousness is also the associations, right? So main part when we say being soul consciousness is rewiring all those associations to those words. So when we hear certain word, uh, we attribute to some male figure or a female figure, that has to break. So, so in a way, Baba's Murlis helps us to break and then rewire those associations that has been built. So instead of those, we can associate that to a virtue. Whenever we hear Sita, so we can attribute that to somebody who is dedicated. Dedication is not nothing to do with male or female. It is a quality. But you see that virtue is personified in that character of Sita or Parvati, right? Or if that character of Purushottam means like somebody who is a driver, and the soul is the driver of the body. So so we want to rewire that male female uh, figure to that sound, to the quality of that sound, actually what it means to the soul. So then it totally helps us to transform the whole language to the language of the soul, not language of the bodies. um so I see Baba also playing with this. Like I think yesterday or day before yesterday, Baba was telling, is uh, does do you feel like does the brothers want to run a center or something like that, right? So you have to keep sisters in the front and things like that. Like why sisters have to be in the front? Why not brothers can run the center? Things like that, right? So it is not about body, it is about the qualities. So because being in a male body, there is some qualities which are dominant. So we want to neutralize those by doing that. So we have to step back and we have to encourage others. So we have to develop that quality of nurturing and all kinds of stuff, right? So I see the overall language, either it is Purushottam or Purush or Sita or any kind of things. If we rewire that to the qualities of the soul rather than a gender, because we want to break down that gender identity. I feel that way. Anyone wants to share any thoughts around that? Anyone else wants to share? Any another beautiful Murli? So you can take few minutes to meditate before we wrap up.
Yeah, so tomorrow we have a special master class on the Murli that we read this week, the 18th January Murli. So we read a January Murli just a few days back. So equality in love and power. So the Murli before this. So Harman's sister from Madhuban will be doing a month-end session on that Murli. So request everyone to join tomorrow's month-end session. So tomorrow is Sunday, it's a buffer day for us. So we will do a Murli month-end session on that Murli. 18th January 1988 Murli. Equality in love and power. With that, over to you, Harshabai, for short meditation. Thank you.
So, so I have this visual. There are these two worlds we live in, inner world and outer world. Most of the time, outer world creates what's going on in our inner world. So now we use Baba's Gyan to create that inner world beyond the conditioning of the external world and then bring it back into this physical world. So let's meditate on that. So wherever you are, make your body very comfortable. As your body, as your ambience is transforming, you are in this world beyond, limiting space and time. And your inner world is transforming the atmosphere inside. Your inner world is becoming more avyakt. There is more lightness in your heart, more space in your mind, and you are becoming more fluid, and you are flowing effortlessly. You're gracefully flowing into that subtle stillness. Not just feeling the love and light, not just feeling the subtlety, but becoming light. And you're effortlessly in this subtle world, pure world. Just the experience of knowledge. No analysis, no process. So make yourself very comfortable in that stillness. Of love, light, and stillness. Keep the attention of your mind, attention of your heart in that pure space. And feel the strength in the stillness. Closeness to Baba, closeness to the stage of Baba. Effortless and vibrant. Carry this presence for the rest of the day. Keep this ambience inside and let it guide the rest of the external, rest of your day. Om Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Arshabai. Thank you, Divine Family. Shall connect again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, you all have a beautiful day.